What's good, YouTube, man? It's your boy Spike back with another video. I already remember 5 something videos. I want to give my glory and thanks to God just being allowed me to do what I do. Now, man, I got a new type of video, but I feel like it's a video that I needed to make. Now, if you anything like me, I grew up playing sports video games my whole life. I mean, ever since a youngin', 4 or 5 years old. NBA Live, Madden, I mean WWE, I mean boxing, NASCAR, NBA Street, NFL Street, NCAA. I didn't play all the games. There was some real cheese back then. There had some players that made you want to break your game. It was players that you needed to have on your team when you was playing your homeboy, your cousin, your brother, your sister. I need them because it's going to be a big advantage, all right? These players that it made you want to punch the wall, throw your controller. I don't know about y'all, but I couldn't afford to break my controller. My go-to was just to punch the pillow. You know what I'm saying? Because you didn't want to make too much noise, otherwise your mama would come in the room. If y'all like this video, if y'all respond well to this video, I could do a part 2, part 3, because definitely it's more than 5 players out there that used to cheese. So right now we go bring it down to 5, no particular order, but this is my opinion, by the way. Starting off with number 5, we have Reggie Bush from NCAA 06. Now let me tell you, I'm a big, huge Saints fan. You feel me? I'm from New Orleans. I love Reggie Bush ever since, you know, he was back in the USC days. He was always one of them players that you just love to watch. I mean, he have a highlight reel that pretty much went viral back when he was in college. And NCAA 06 definitely gave him some justice. You feel me? NCAA 06 is one of the greatest college games ever made. And every time I hop on that thing, Reggie Bush, USC, one of my go-tos. Now, Reggie Bush, immaculate speed, juke moves out of this world. Let me just say, when you pick USC, you did not have to run a pass play if you didn't want to. I'm talking about halfback pitch to the right, halfback pitch to the left. Reggie Bush at punt return, kick return. It got crazy. Now look, now if you ever had to play against this man, let me just say, okay, you want to come with all your zone blitzes, all your blitz packages, because he was going to give you some fits, okay? So, Reggie Bush at that number 5 mark. As y'all see the highlights that I'm showing y'all right now, this is some straight cheese. I mean, he mixing folks up left and right, back jukes, spin moves, double spin moves. I'm telling you, any move that you knew, he had it in his bag. All right, so Reggie Bush, we're gonna have him at that number 5 mark for right now. Number 4 on the list. Now this game right here, first of all, this game right here is my favorite sports video game of all time. If not my favorite, it's definitely in my top 3. NBA Street Volume 2. This game right here was one of the most lit games I've ever played in my life. I really hope that they can bring back the EA Sports big games. But number 4 on the list is that boy Stretch Monroe. Now, it's not too much to say about Stretch, okay? Now, one thing y'all need to know about this game is that goaltending, it wasn't wrong, okay? You could goaltend all game, all day if you wanted to. So, whenever you played against Stretch, usually that's what would happen. You know, he'll just be sitting down there chilling. Every time you shoot a 3, he coming up with 2 hands. 2 hands, like Randy Mouse. He coming up with 2 hands, and there's nothing that you could do about it. So usually when you play like the story mode, you always want to unlock Stretch. They had the Stretch tournament. You get Stretch on your team, you good. You good to go. You can have 2 bums on your team, but as long as you have Stretch Monroe, anything is possible. Just sitting down there, he grabbing boards, he blocking your stuff out the air, and he also had his signature 360 between the legs dunk. And also, one thing about Stretch too, he wasn't a bad shooter, okay? Shooting on NBA Street Volume 2 was pretty easy for the most part. But the one thing that kind of combated that was the fact that you could go 10 all day. Stretch Monroe, cheese, and more cheese. 3 on the list. This is no surprise. We got NBA 2K14, LeBron James. We all pretty much seen this coming. I remember when the next gen consoles first came out, you know, we seen the little trailer with LeBron on it. And we already knew he was going to be some cheese because throughout all the 2Ks and NBA Lives that LeBron never been on, he was pretty much an elite player which could do anything. And 2K14 kind of took it to that next level. It was a fast break. and you seen LeBron coming at you, you just best off trying to take a charge, alright? Ain't no blocking, ain't no getting in the way. 100% smothers. It did not matter. LeBron was go dunk on your stuff. Around this time, 2K14, you know, he had just beat the Spurs. And this one, he started developing, you know, a good mid-range game, a good three-point game. So in this game, you know what I'm saying, if you couldn't go to the cup with LeBron, you also could stay on the arc. You could shoot three, so could get to your mid-range. NBA 2K14 LeBron, we kind of seen this coming. The fact that he was on the Heat made it even worse when you had to play them online. I mean, it's times when you tried to play online head-to-head, and you pretty much seen the Heat every game or every other game. It was pretty much, you know, tough to stop LeBron in any type of situation. Okay, our last two players that pretty much broke the game. Now these players, it's really a toss-up. Okay, number 2 on the list is no other than that man, Michael Vick, on Madden NFL 04. I remember playing this game specifically. Michael Vick was just on another level of cheese. I would say, y'all, all the games of Madden I didn't play, Michael Vick on this game specifically might be the most overpowered OP player I ever seen in my life. On this game, I believe Michael Vick had like around a 95 speed. Dude was straight cheese. Now look, this how you know somebody is OP on the game. You have a quarterback on the Madden game and people putting them at punt returner, something ain't right. You got bored, you will always put Michael Vick back at punt return. 95 speed, he like one of the best players, like he's the best player on the game. Didn't fumble, amazing agility, juke moves, he had it all. You know, it's rightfully so, okay? We all remember Mike Vick in real life going crazy. Honestly, if it hadn't been for that whole, you know, dog situation, he could literally be one of the GOATs. All right, Michael Vick was everybody's childhood hero. If you're around my age, 21, you know, 22, he changed the game pretty much. At 04, Michael Vick, you was some real cheese, okay? There'll be times where you playing your homeboy, your cousin or something, both of y'all would choose the Falcons because we knew that, you know, Michael Vick was that amount of cheese. All right, number 1 on the list, Randy Moss, NFL Street, straight dog. NFL Street in general was a pretty cheesy game. It was already a cheesy game. You get crazy animations, crazy things happen when you play NFL Street. Now adding Randy Moss to the mix was even more cheese because we all knew that Randy Moss, just like Michael Vick, those two guys, you know, when we was kids, I mean, they were just different. So Randy Moss pretty much had maxed out speed, crazy jumping ability. He was just an all-around cheesy player. And when I say NFL Street, I don't just mean the first one. I mean NFL Street Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, all that. And it really got crazy, specifically in Volume 2. I think it really got the craziest because that's when they started, you know, adding the run up the wall, jump. You know what I'm saying? You could run up the wall, catch the ball, stuff like that. That's when he really got cheesy. It got to a point where you would just drop back, throw it up to Randy Moss, okay, and he go come down with it. He with a style catch, he go do whatever he needs to do. I would say Randy Moss, probably the cheesiest player ever in the NFL Street. I remember they used to have pickup games. Some of y'all may remember this, but like they had like pickup games where you could choose your players. Okay, you go to the pickup game with your friend. They give you a pool of players to choose from. Now, with that being said, sometimes once you start picking your players, they won't have everybody in the game in that specific pool. So what I would do is I would back out and keep re-entering until I seen Randy Moss was on the list. And pretty much whoever got Randy Moss first, it was pretty much, that was it, okay? You was finna get punished. It was pretty much over with, all right? Man, I hope you enjoyed this list. Hey, let me know, you know, players that you think should be on here, and I'll make a part 2 to this, you feel me? It could be any game. It could be boxing, UFC, Madden, NCAA, and we could keep this thing rolling. I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. Like I always say, man, continue to keep God first in your life, no matter what you're going through, no matter what you've been through, man. Turn away from you boys and follow Jesus. It's your boy Spite, and we are chill.